This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
I looked evil right in the eye, and there he was.
It revives our economy.
Millions of people will lose their coverage.
There was flames everywhere, and then we heard the chain reaction of boom, boom.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
The voice of evil. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. The shouts of suspect Elias Rodriguez as he was taken by police last night after allegedly gunning down a young couple who worked on the staff of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. It happened outside of the capital's Jewish Museum, which was hosting an event devoted to fostering better understanding and fighting anti-Semitism. After the shooting, the suspect nonchalantly went inside the museum, where he was encountered by event organizer Jojo Kalin, who thought at first he was just a witness to the shooting, telling Fox News she offered him some water.
I looked evil right in the eye, and there he was. And seconds after I handed him the water, he brandishes the keffiyeh, yells "Free Palestine," and then he's apprehended.
Ted Deutsch is CEO of the American Jewish Committee, which had just finished hosting the event there when shots rang outside.
What happened after the event last night is really the realization of all of the Jewish community's worst fears. This is what the community has been afraid of.
The suspect may wind up facing federal terrorism charges. Another shooting in a prominent Washington, D.C. metro spot, CIA headquarters in nearby Langley, Virginia this morning.
Sources told CBS News that CIA security shot a female driver who approached the main gate and failed to stop. The woman was taken to a medical facility with what officials believed were non-fatal injuries. The CIA and the FBI were looking into the matter.
And CBS's Jennifer Jacobs. Well, not far from the museum attack, lawmakers were meeting in another marathon session on Capitol Hill. When it was over, the House had passed President Trump's cornerstone budget bill, barely. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
It revives our economy. It will deliver historic tax relief. It will make the largest investment in our border security in a generation.
Johnson had to coax yes votes from some holdout Republicans, including South Carolina's Ralph Norman.
We held it out as long as we could to get the cuts, as long as we could. We couldn't do it anymore. We'll live to fight another day.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York.
Millions of people will lose their coverage as a result of this GOP tax scam.
Republicans say that's not true. Up next, though, it's the U.S. Senate's turn. The U.S. Supreme Court blocking what would have been the nation's first publicly funded religious charter school.
The case is out of Oklahoma, where there were plans for a Catholic virtual school. The state Supreme Court shot it down, saying it was unconstitutional. That was appealed to the nation's highest court, which was split at 4-4. Justice Amy Coney Barrett recused herself, although it's not known why.
That's Michael Kastner reporting. 2 people dead, several hurt after a small jet crashed into San Diego military housing this morning. This resident survived.
I looked out the window, and there was just flames everywhere, and then we heard the chain reaction of boom, boom, boom.
San Diego Police Chief Scott Wall.
With the jet fuel going down the street and everything on fire all at once, it was pretty horrific to see.
The FAA is on scene investigating. There was heavy fog in the area at the time that Cessna Citation 2 crashed. Health news next. The FDA ordering COVID-19 vaccine makers to expand their warning labels.
The FDA is ordering Pfizer and Moderna to let people know about possible heart inflammation risk related to mRNA shots, especially in teenage boys and young men. Moderna's label now issues such a warning for males 18 to 24, while Pfizer's label specifies males 12 to 17.
That's Sarah Lee Kessler. Well, hitting the road or the skies, record travel expected when the Memorial Day weekend gets rolling tomorrow.
Over 45 million people, which is 1.4 million more than last year, venturing at least 50 miles from their homes between Thursday and next Monday. That prediction from AAA. The vast majority, about 39 million people, or 1 million more than last year, will drive to their destination.
Fox's CJ Papa, another 3.6 million expected to take to the skies. Many of them are getting a head start today. Very busy at many airports right now. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, tornado season in Pennsylvania. Some elderly housing tenants stuck in limbo and revisiting Pennsylvania's pot legalization debate.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Cool, cloudy, damp conditions. There is some hope for improvement, and ever so slowly, our weather will be turning brighter, drier, and mild, but it's going to take some time. Here's the call for tonight and tomorrow. Cloudy, damp, chilly, rain from time to time, patchy fog. Low temperatures tonight 40s, high temperatures tomorrow 50s. Saturday, mainly cloudy, still a few scattered showers. High temperatures 50s to near 60.
It's another murky day. All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. First to PA, tornadoes confirmed. The National Weather Service office out of Pittsburgh confirms tornadoes touched down and caused damage in a couple of spots in southwestern Pennsylvania. One of those was in Washington County near Gastonville, another in Butler County in Center Township, where a security camera caught a roof being torn off.
The wind's picking up, and then the roof just kind of went up in the air and twisted a little bit.
National Weather Service meteorologist Fred McMullen tells KDKA they were out today surveying damage.
The roof being blown off in the video was really impressive. We're out here today to determine the data from the tornado. We're looking at here to see how long the track was, how wide it was, and then the max intensity winds that we saw from this storm.
He says so far they've documented 7 tornadoes in the region this spring. That is above average. A teenager in Lycoming County, PA, facing charges after he allegedly brought a gun to school. Authorities say 18-year-old Diego Sanchez admitted to bringing the gun to Jersey Shore High School last Wednesday and Thursday. According to witnesses, Sanchez said he had the gun for a student. He's scheduled to appear in court next month. Despite the highest city offices on the ballot, many Lehigh Valley residents did not vote in Tuesday's primary. Officials say turnout was 16.3% in Lehigh County, only slightly better in Northampton County, 17.7%. The State Department says it sent a total of about 800,000 mail-in ballots across Pennsylvania. About 70% of those came back. Dozens of seniors and disabled residents living at the Hudson Ridge and Danforth Towers complexes in Rochester are facing uncertain futures after many tenants got notices telling them to move out of their apartments by this Monday. However, the Rochester Housing Authority insists that won't happen, even after Family Service of Rochester said last week it was ending a program that offers affordable housing help to seniors. RHA says residents should be meeting one-on-one with the state and with Family Service to determine what their housing needs are and where they can go. Amid all that uncertainty, resident Gwen Kendick tells WRLC.
It's a horrible feeling to be kicked out of a place that you lived in for a while and not be able to find a place to go. It really is.
The State Attorney General's office says it is looking into the situation. Canisius University says it's doing away with its public safety department. 5 sworn peace officers and 3 dispatchers that make up that department have been notified of their upcoming termination as of June 15th. A private security firm called NMS Security Services, which is based out of Alaska, will fill the role. A reason for the cutback not given. And a Depew, New York man's facing multiple charges for crashing a perimeter gate and driving onto the runway at Buffalo Niagara International Airport Tuesday morning. 45-year-old James Mudge rammed the gate 3 times before breaking through and driving onto a taxiway and an inactive runway. He was taken into custody in less than 10 minutes. Security concerns are mounting at U.S. airports over runway breaches. Recently, a DoorDash driver took a wrong turn and accidentally started roaming around restricted areas at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. All right, up next, highlights from today's Faith Under Fire feature, focusing on efforts to legalize and capitalize on recreational marijuana in Pennsylvania. Even though an effort to set up state cannabis stores in PA failed in a Senate committee, backers remain determined to bring legalized pot to PA. Our Sarah Harnish spoke about that with Dan Bartkowiak at the Pennsylvania Family Institute.
Ultimately, it's taking a commercialized sale of industrial marijuana, high potencies. What we're seeing with mental health, what we're seeing in schools, healthcare, so many problems in states legalizing this. Sadly, we're seeing more addiction for profit being the priority in Pennsylvania. It really is some of the worst that we see in politics, the rush job forcing this upon communities. So there really is a lack of understanding of the harm that this is bringing. Even Governor Shapiro was all about this is about economics. Really, that should not be. It shouldn't be dollar signs as the lens. It should be what is the best for public health, safety, the well-being of children and families. If that was our lens, lens, the public health and safety, we really wouldn't be seeing this happen. So we really need to engage our elected officials in understanding the reality of what commercialized sale of industrialized marijuana will do, and hear from families that are ravaged by the marijuana use of today, the high potencies, the concentrates and edibles, the forms that we see today. It's unlike what I had when I was younger. It needs to be recognized in saying we don't want to see this commercialized in our state. I was in high school 20 years ago. The THC content, the psychoactive component of marijuana, was single digits, 3% THC, even less than that. Today, it's anywhere between 20, 30% THC flower, and you have all these concentrates, edibles. Vaping wasn't around when I was in high school. Now you have superintendents with drawers full of vape pens. I'm hearing from families that they're finding peers giving this to them because it can be odorless. You can do it in school where teachers aren't understanding, and it's leading to a variety of problems. It's leading to kids on a path to schizophrenia and mental health problems. That's what needs to be better understood here in Pennsylvania. In the school district in Detroit, Michigan, the largest school district, before legalization 2 years prior, they had under 300 drug offenses in their school. The 2 years after legalization, 1,800. This is a problem that we're seeing when you commercialize the sale, increase the access to these types of harmful products. And so it needs to be better understood, and that's where constituents, families, getting in touch with our elected officials, because that's who's going to decide this policy. It's not a ballot referendum here in Pennsylvania. It's going to be lawmakers deciding this policy. So we have to be in touch with our state senator, state representative, and saying no to this problematic policy.
Democrats are pushing this hard as a big money maker. In fact, they're saying $500 million in the first year. The Republican line is that the money isn't worth the cost. Tell me why.
If we understand what marijuana does, I'm frustrated when I hear a Democrat on the House floor saying we need a safe product and looking at dollar signs for that. Understand that marijuana use is not safe, and no state has met any type of revenue projections. It also doesn't calculate often the cost. Colorado, there was a study done for every dollar in revenue, $4.50 in costs. You look at healthcare, you look at education, you look at workplace areas, you look at DUIs that increase. All of that comes at a cost. What is that human cost when it comes to this effort here in Pennsylvania? And sadly, it's looking at all dollar signs. It's just not the lens we should have.
That's Dan Bartkowiak at the Pennsylvania Family Institute from this week's edition of Faith Under Fire. You can subscribe to, listen to, and share this feature along with all of our original podcasts at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or FamilyLife.org. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. We're often asked, how do I cancel my credit card? It's not difficult if you follow these steps. First, redeem all rewards on the card. Then pay off the balance, if any. Next, check your statements to see if you have any automatic debits, such as for car insurance. If so, move those to another account. Now you're ready to cancel the card. Some banks let you do it online, but many require a call. Be prepared. They'll try to convince you to keep it. Be kind but firm if you're serious about closing the account. Finally, check your credit reports after 30 days to make sure the account has actually been closed. You can do that free at annualcreditreport.com. One less credit card is one less thing to worry about. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free FaithFi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Still to come here on the 5 o'clock report. If you know this sound, you probably played that game.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. A work week will end much as we've seen of late, with cool, cloudy, damp conditions. Heading through the weekend, though, there is some hope for improvement. Low pressure bringing the inclement weather will be moving away through the Canadian Maritimes, and ever so slowly, our weather will be turning brighter, drier, and milder, but it's going to take some time. Here's the call for tonight and tomorrow. Cloudy, damp, chilly, rain from time to time, patchy fog. Low temperatures tonight 40s, high temperatures tomorrow 50s. Saturday, mainly cloudy, still a few scattered showers. High temperatures 50s to near 60.
Yeah, can't wait for some sun and warmth to return, Kevin. Thank you very much. Finally at 5, maybe group games just aren't your thing.
I just want to be alone.
Yeah, we hear you, Greta Garbo. For you and lone gamers out there, today is National Solitaire Day. While the playing card version's been around for a long time, at least since the 1700s, today is actually about what happened in 1990. That's when Microsoft Windows debuted its PC version of Solitaire, created by an intern named Wes Cherry, who was really just looking for a way to teach users of these newfangled home computers how to use something called a computer mouse. Instead, he created one of the all-time great office time wasters in history, though it's not a complete waste. Experts say playing games like Solitaire boosts memory, develops strategic skills, and calms your mind. And unlike the playing card version, it's pretty much impossible to cheat. And that's the world we live in for Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.